With us today, we got Joe, Trigger Joe Britson.
All right, let's go.
To try to get a matchup with Ngannou. Oh, goes the lead. Francis Ngannou.
Well, this is just a fist. When I start throwing it around, I can leave one hell of a mess. Let's dance.
Multiple occasions. Wow, it looks like they're going to swing to the very end.
And he wasn't kidding. Wow. It's very rare. What a finish.
Another one.
It really poses the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to take a chance and risk getting knocked out? Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Trying to take care of business, trying to get to goal. It's a knockout. Oh my It's a knockout.
And it's closing in, trying to finish it, and it's over!
Because I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to whop you on that side of your face. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
Buck is brought to you by Modelo.
I killed it!
Punch me right in the face, man.
And we have a new nickname. Okay, we have William Send It 7 Pearson. All right, other than that, we used to call him Willie Pete. We used to call him the Mad Russian.
For his opponent to be quicker on the tangent.
Now you're gonna get it, Bobby.
I think you've had enough. No? Now you've had enough. Bitch.
Wow. How good is this? Finish him!
Another one.
Everybody gets triggered. It's just if you become a pansy. That's in the Book of Brawl.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
Gotta be very careful.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Sports Betting Show with your hosts, Trigger Joe, Send It 7 Pearson, and the Big Earl. UFC, NFL, if it's on, we're betting on it.
On the Big Earl's page. All right, there's only one of you watching right now, so maybe I'll switch over to Veteran Trash Talk. But whatever. All right. Anyways, hey, this is an ad hoc too. We're going live tonight to give you some NFL picks because last week we didn't go live because of the holiday, and I hit 3 out of 4 of my locks. Bill will tell you because Bill didn't bet the games individually, and
I failed.
And then whined that he didn't make any money, and I was like, well. You don't listen to Big Earl's advice about how to bet. All right. But anyways.
So what you're saying is he was sleeping on your bets like he was right before the show.
Well, right. He did what Joe usually does.
I own it.
Yeah.
Trigger Joe, you know, like he just did something stupid, you know, whatever. And it's kind of like putting, like I said, the LaSalle game and the under on the LaSalle game and the 6 fight lock parlay. Like, who does that? Anyways, if you don't like the NFL, we don't really care. If you don't like sports betting, don't care. Just scroll on, go away. Doesn't bother us. But either way, the Big Earl knows what he's talking about, and especially when he has the 10th Mountain Bourbon. All right, every time I take a sip of this, my picks just get better, like by the second. And so go to 10thmountainwhiskey.com and put in the code VTT, and you get yourself a discount. Right, you get Big Earl discount. But with us today, we have VTT's Baker. Right, the Baker is here. He is the guy that he's a Marine. All right, and we don't really like him, but we every once in a while we bring him on the show because nobody else wants to come on. And then we got VTT Send It 7, which is artillery, the champ. Hey, before we get into the NFL, Bill, what's going on with UFC? Why aren't there any fights?
Honestly, there's no fights until January because Dana White, as we have said before, some people will talk about how much they hate Dana White. But you know what? He's a multi-billionaire now because he knows what the hell he's doing. And so these next 2 weeks, Dana White will never do UFC fights because he's not going to compete with the College National Championship and all the other crazy shit going on.
Makes sense.
So this is his break from all that. So he's starting up, I think January 9th or whatever that next Saturday is in January. That will be the next
7th.
The 7th. And because he's a smart man, you don't want to compete with the College National Championship. You know that's what everybody's going to be watching. That's what everyone's going to be betting on. That's why we make the fights. But the thing to look out for all the UFC fans out there is the Khamzat Chimaev next fight. He's complaining people are running from him. Nobody wants to fight him. I think he's not wrong. A few guys have originally signed on to fight. Then they said they don't. And then they're saying, hey, I don't want to fight Chimaev unless I'm getting paid for it. Chimaev said he'll fight for fucking $5. He just wants to fight the entire UFC roster. Does not give a shit. I think they are scared of him. So we'll have to see who's the next one to land that fight. He's even offered to fight for the belt in one weight class, drop in 2 weeks to fight the other guy in that weight class. He thinks he's just going to annihilate everybody. And so far he has. So.
All right, so those of you watching for the first time, especially on the Big Earls page, you know, Veteran Trash Talk was started by myself and Joe, Trigger Joe, and then Faceman. We've added all these awesome people to our team. The whole point of it was to lower the veteran suicide rate and active duty. With that, remember, we don't think that there's one way to do it. One of the things that a lot of veterans like is UFC. All right, a lot of veterans like the NFL. A lot of veterans like gambling, you know, and so it's like, well, let's do a show about that. And that's what this show is for. All right. We are going to give you gambling advice and or your fantasy advice for like DraftKings, stuff like that. And, you know, if you're playing, you know, in a pick'em league, something like that, just, you know, I'm winning my pick'em league. Dan Dexter knows that because you would not leading it. All right. So, like, I'm leading that pick'em league, and you know that's going to be a nice big payday. If you don't have any money, don't gamble. All right, same thing as any control measure. If you can't drink, sorry, or if you're a recovering alcoholic, don't buy 10th Mountain whiskey. Okay, don't. And the owner of 10th Mountain will tell you not to either. Right, he's a good dude. And he supports supports veterans and all of our causes. So go ahead and give that a shot. So again, if you're watching tonight for the first time, that's what we're all about. And we just have fun in this way, and I hope that you have fun with us. So leave a comment, say hi, say where you're watching from, whether you're on Gruntworks, Veteran Trash Talk, or the Big Earls page, all right, which makes a lot more money than Faceman's page. No big deal. All right, so Dave, you're watching. I'm not
more handsome.
I should just take over the Faceman too. Like,
I mean,
obviously. But no, he can't grow a beard, so that's why we make him Faceman. It is what it is. But all right. We're just going to strictly talk NFL tonight, and usually we breeze through this in about 5 minutes, but we don't really have to do that because there's no UFC. So now Bill and I are going to discuss some of these games, and the Baker is going to run us through All right, but anyway, before we get to that, how you guys doing? Let's start with the Baker. How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Good things are happening at work.
All right. Well, that's why he doesn't come on. That's why he doesn't come on the show very often, because that's about all he fucking had. So, all right.
Ain't nothing going on.
Yeah, ain't nothing going on. not a good Christmas. Like,
it's the busiest time of the year for me. It ends tomorrow, and I'll be done with it.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right. So, Bill, how's it been, man? How's living life in the Army?
It's not bad. Still dealing with stupid crap, but I get to see the Big Earl next week. Try to get some VR headsets out to the world. Just came back from Memphis, where I got some incredible barbecue with visiting the wife's family.
Nice. You were at a Grizzlies game too.
I went to a Grizzlies game. They got their ass handed to them.
Did you bet on it?
I did. Of course I did.
Yeah.
Took an L on that one. Hey, it's funny you bring up some people don't like NFL. I was talking about NFL again with somebody, and they brought up the one thing that irritates us. I don't like the NFL because of Colin Kaepernick, and I'm glad they brought it up because it's almost January 1st. Here's why I like this.
Is he the new president of the NFL?
Colin Kaepernick's last game was 1 January 2017. Move on.
The NFL moved on. The NFL knew that they could not be marketable without him. Like, that's why no team signs him. Like, it's like,
move on.
Yeah. But again, that's the keyboard warriors. Oh, that's the other thing. Before we get to it, I got to bring this up. All right, I got some flack and Facebook censoring my video where I went down.
Nice shirt, Bill.
Where I went. Yeah, hey, you get these shirts. Hey, by the way, you get these shirts at shop.veterantrashtalk.com and put in the code BTTGW, get yourself a discount. Get this nice hat too. It's got the dumpster fire with the beers over it, right? It's money. Put in the code BTTGW during the show, and that'll help. I recently went down to the border because I live in El Paso, where a lot of immigrants have been crossed over.
You crossed the street then?
No, not really. I'm in the bougie side. I'm on the west side of the mountain. So okay. I had to go over there.
20-minute drive. Got it.
Yeah. So I go down to the border, and I took my daughter with me, and I wanted it because it was before I went on my vacation, right? Because these immigrants went on their vacation, for starting months ago, and it was dropping below 10 degrees.
Ooh.
Okay, and these people are literally living by a bus station, right? And I went down there with cases of water in the back of my truck and sweatshirts. And I went around, and I don't know much Spanish or Portuguese, for some of the immigrants. And I was just going, niñas, niños, mujeres, la mujeres, like women, children, right? Because there's obviously, like, anybody who's fought in third world countries knows that even the guys are in survival mode and they don't give a shit, right? Like, they're trying to grab your stuff. And I'm like, hey, no. This is for the kids, man. And thankfully, thank God, a bus pulled up as soon as I got there with a bunch of kids in it. And I was just like, threw all the shirts in there and like the sweatshirts, and went over and saw, and again, my daughter saw, how these people were living. Right, if you even want to call it that. And I had the nerve of some people on my page that are no longer on my page, right? Are like, you think that any other country would let us do that?
First off, are we any other country?
We're not any other country, right? We are the country. We are the country that accepts everybody, whether you're Republican or Democrat. Don't care about your.
It's almost like there's a famous island for that.
Yeah.
Hey, I found my family's name on that island.
Yeah, and and it's like, I don't care about your political opinion. I had the opportunity, because of you guys at Veteran Trash Talk, I had the opportunity to do something. Okay, I wasn't a keyboard warrior. I wasn't doing that for publicity. I went down there because those women and children were about to freeze.
Nick,
okay?
you said it perfectly a long while back when the election happened. Personally, I don't agree politically with our president. I'm allowed to do that. You fought for it. You bled for that. It's wild. But I don't want to see him fail, because if he fails, we suffer. That dude's set for life. $100,000 a year for the rest of his life. We're the ones that suffer. We're the ones that have to pay the inflation. We're the ones that have to bear all of that. So yeah, let's come together and work together, just like you were saying.
Yeah, and again, like, these are human beings. Right? They're human beings, and they're gonna freeze. Like, it has nothing to do with politics. Like, politics are why they cross the border. That's true, right? Like, but they're here, right? They're in my backyard. Is there anything I can do to help them? You know, like, maybe not. So, all right, that got kind of off tangent there, but I just wanted to address that. I just want to address that, where when you say, would any other country help them? The answer is no. All right? No other country would help us either. That's why we're the best fucking country in the world, and that's called nationalism now to the liberals, right? Like, yes, I love my country. I love what we do. I love how diverse we are, and there's no freaking reason why to do it. And there you go. Here's the NFL. Oh, Colin Kaepernick hasn't played in 6 years. Okay.
And he was third string then.
Yeah, get over it. Get over it. Yeah. All right. And so now let's have some fun. Let's talk NFL. I'm off my high horse. I'm off.
First game, we got Arizona going into the Falcons.
Well, we got
both of those, they're going to sit up pretty high anyway, so you might need to get on it to talk about them. They're both birds. They fly high.
Cards at Falcons. The over-under is 41. 5.5 point home favorites out of the Falcons. I'm going Falcons here. There's a few ugly games.
This is really ugly.
This is one of them. But I honestly think the Falcons at home take care of Colt McCoy, right? And the only thing that screws this up is J.J. Watt announced his retirement, so he might be on his terror of the NFL for a couple weeks, knowing that he's not playing the game. Bill, what do you think?
I was going to agree with you. That does scare me. That's the J.J. Watt, final stretch of bowing out. And by the way, hats off to J.J. Watt. Absolutely historic career. And the crap he did for the city of Houston, people are still learning about how much money he dumped into just being a good dude in Houston. Like, he is – I remember when all the Kaepernick stuff came out and people were accusing him of being a racist. But luckily, a lot of black people of Houston came out like, hey, man, this guy rebuilt entire city blocks for us. Like,
yeah.
Shut up. Yeah. So, I mean, J.J. Watt actually didn't take a paycheck from the NFL for, I think it was 8 years. He only lived off of his sponsorship. And he donated all his NFL earnings to just philanthropy throughout Houston. So absolutely just a good dude.
And he's from Wisconsin. No big deal.
Yeah, so I actually worry about whether, he might just go on some crazy tear. However, I like Atlanta at home as well. Nice. Arizona's just not there. Their quarterbacks, all of them are garbage right now. Yeah. Just make garbage decisions. Atlanta at home all day.
Nice. All right, so put that one. I'm not locking it, but put it in there.
Next, we got Carolina going into Tom Brady.
Ooh, Panthers at the Buccaneers at 40.5 over under, -4 Bucks home favorite. Again, this is Carolina's been screwing me all year. I don't know how to pick them. Like, they have 5 wins, and I think I picked them to lose those 5 wins, and like I picked them to win the other 6 losses. I don't
fuck them, man.
But I mean, you got to go Bucks here, -4. I would actually put them. I would put the Buccaneers in a parlay money line, but I'm not touching the spread because the difference is not worth it. So, Bill, what say you on that?
Here's the thing, I don't like betting against Tom Brady. Love him or hate him, Tom Brady will figure out a way to win. He's just that guy. I think I'm not happy with the Tampa Bay coach. I think he's kind of garbage. And I know Tom's had a problem this year just because he's missing, 4 or 5 all Pro Bowl linemen.
All of them.
You know, and Brady's just not a running quarterback. He's a pocket guy, so he needs those linemen. But I like him against Carolina. But like you said, Carolina has burned me at least 5 times this season.
Did you
And
say
it's all
that he's not doing so hot because he's missing his linemen?
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds like a Chargers team I knew once.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Dan Humphries.
Nope. There was never a Chargers team that was ever a threat to anybody. Not even with Dan
they
Fouts,
never had the line.
Not even with Philip
They didn't
Rivers.
have the line.
I thought, I'm sorry. I said this is where your Homer thing comes in. We don't want this Homer stuff in here. We're objective pickers, okay? We pick based on facts, not on.
Okay.
Oh man, if only San Diego had a line. Oh,
I mean, I see where Chris is coming from. I think the classic.
so do I, but I'm fucking with him.
I know he is.
A classic example of a team that if they would have had a line. If you would have gave Barry Sanders and that Detroit Lions team the Dallas Cowboys front line of that time, Sanders breaks every record in running back history.
Right.
But he got the ball and was already running for 4 people.
Right, but he'd also
Every
go to
time.
a team that probably passed the ball more than he ran it. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, it
That's
is
true.
what it is.
But yeah, I like Tampa Bay at home. I'm with you. I wouldn't touch that spread with a 10-foot pole. But if you want to go money line and parlay, which I'll throw in one of my parlays for sure, Tampa Bay.
All right, next up is the Bears in Detroit.
Oh man, I would have went 4 for 4 last week, but the Lions finally got me. I'm like, once you start locking the Lions in, it's like, and then they lose. It's like, which is great for the Packers, by the way, and that's why secretly that's why VTT's Trigger Joe's didn't show up today, because he knows that next week is Packers Lions, right? And it could be for the last playoff spot. It could be, which has never happened in my lifetime, where the Packers had to play the Lions for a playoff spot. But it's like, it's about to happen. Either way, like, I love the Lions here. I think the Bears. I actually like the over. I don't think
I was just going to say I kind of like the over on this one.
But it's a high over for the NFL. It's 52.5. It's the highest one of the weekend. But I like the Bears. I like the Bears scoring at least 20-something points, right? And I like the Lions scoring 35-40, right? Just like going off. So I got the Lions here. I'm not going to lock it in, but I really like it.
And the big girl has said it many times. The Lions will burn you every time money line, but they will always fucking cover.
Yeah. But they're favorites now. They're favorites.
I do like the Lions at home. I think Chicago is kind of they're having a rough patch right now. I mean, they've been having a rough patch for years. I got it. I just can't bet on the Lions because they've burned me. Every time I bet money and put the Lions in there, if they were +6, I'd bet them all day because they will always cover the spread. But
it's like our Bobby Green of the NFL.
They really are. They're the Bobby fucking Green of the NFL. God damn it, God. Greatest dude, one of the greatest humans ever. But God, fuck him.
When you're looking at your MyBookie account and you got a $20 bet paying $1,700, and Bobby Green shows up.
Yeah, God damn it.
That's better than 1,000. Well, let me do the actual math of 35-1. That is 6 times better than a roulette ball hitting, and we almost hit it. Like, it literally bounced into it.
It's the same equivalent.
It just waited, and then at the very end,
6 times in a row. 6 times in a row.
The same thing happens when it's our last fight. We're all about to hit an $800 parlay, and like they go through the refs are split, and they get to the third ref, and Saul D'Amato scores it. God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, there it goes, boys.
There it goes.
Just shut everything off. Go to bed.
To the next week. But all right, what do we got next?
So next we got Cleveland coming into the Redskins. I won't call them the Commanders. I'm not gonna.
Well, you should, because that's what they're called. Okay, like they're the Commanders.
They were the Skins for how long?
No, it doesn't matter. It's just not. It's not accurate. They're the Commanders, and their coach is a Marine, by the way.
Hey, nobody
You
said
knew
you were
that, right?
smart.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. Well, they've done very well this year. I want to lock Washington so bad, but they benched Heineke, right? And they put in Carson, which I believe Carson is a better tooled quarterback, but I just know the team loves playing with Tyler. Like they love playing with. They love just he brings that energy. I wanted to lock it. I got Washington. I'm going to put in my parlay -2 anyways because it's 2 points. Like if they win by 1, I'll just go after myself. It's like it is what it is. So, but Bill, what do you got on that one?
Washington all day. That's going to be one of my locks. Now, don't listen to me. I'm the UFC guy. Nick is your NFL guy. But I think Cleveland is just a shit show right now. I think
so too, but it's just why are you switching to quarterback right now? Because you lost one game.
See, I was going to talk about that when we got to the Raiders. The fact that they think Carr is the problem on that is unbelievable.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. That really pisses me off. But anyway, I think Cleveland's on fire right now. I think they are a shit show. I think they made really dumb trades, especially their quarterback. I think he's an absolute waste of money right now. But I got Washington.
I think all like 86 women are lying, right? like it's obvious. Like he didn't rape 86 women, but maybe he did. I don't know what it is.
Sometimes people have islands where they bring kids to. You never know.
Never know. Hey, careful though. It's conspiracy. That's Dave's fight.
Yeah.
I don't get how you let a guy like Heineke almost beat Tom Brady. Right in the playoffs.
I like Heineke too, maybe there's some weird injury they don't want to let out.
That could be it too. That's my argument for the one you're going to talk about. So, but all right, what's the next one?
Denver going into Kansas City.
Oh,
ooh, lock this up. Okay,
yes.
They are going to crush Denver. All right, so you got the over/under of 45, which I'm tempted to take the over.
12.5 spread.
I'm tempted to take the over because I have a feeling this might be a 50-something to 10 game, right? Like I think
Chiefs are going to wreck Denver
because the Chiefs have to win. Okay, so they have to win for the number 1 seed. So they're still in competition for that. So there's not going to be any laying off here. 12.5 point favorite. Yeah. Lock it.
And this is different. This is opposite of the Washington problem. That team loves playing with Heineken. Denver fucking hates Wilson, and you can tell. He does not have that locker room. And he is garbage right now. It's absolute garbage. I didn't like him when he was up here in Seattle. I think he's kind of a dipshit. And now he's just proven it. Denver is another team that is just spiraling out of control.
I'm gonna stick up for Russ a little bit on you on that one, though. I'm gonna stick up for him just because I think he's a very spiritual guy, and I think he's actually embraced the mindset of like positivity. And there's just athletes that are like, no, we're not winning, Russell. Like this is not good. He's like, no, we're good. No, we're not. It's like
which is possible,
and
as much as I don't like the guy, Shannon Sharp does a great podcast. He said the same thing. He's like, you can tell he just doesn't have the locker room right now, and that is the biggest problem.
Russell, at this point in time, because you've been winning most of your life, you're not winning right now. Like you should be like, hey, we're doing something wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But every time he's on a press conference, he's like, yeah, we're getting there. Yeah.
Chocolate Rivers and Gumdrop Smiles, everybody. Like, no.
There's some people pissed. Like, so there's probably some players that took pay cuts knowing that Russell was coming there, and they're like, Like, no, not good. But all right, let's get on. Sorry.
Next, we got Indy. Indy.
Wait. So what's your lock? Is your lock KC money line or KC 12.5?
Oh, 12.5.
Man, I agree with you.
I obviously lock money line. I think they're going to score 40-something points. If the Broncos can squeak a touchdown, I like the over.
Kansas City's wrecking them.
Yeah, wrecking them.
Next, we got Indy going into the Giants.
Another catastrophe is about to happen.
Gross game. All right, we don't know. The Colts were hear me out. The Colts were up 33-0 against Minnesota. Since then, they've been outscored 50. That's in 2 quarters. They're up 33-0 at halftime. 2 quarters of that second half of that game, and 4 quarters after that, they've been outscored 59-6. All right, like
Jesus.
So I don't like this game because I don't know what New York's problem is. I don't understand why they can't roll people with the team that they have. Like,
and they got a great quarterback too.
And they got a great running back. They have one of the best players in the NFL at running back. Like, -5.5. I want to lock the Giants. I'm not going to do it, but I like the over in this game. The over in this game. I just don't like the way the Giants scheme. I don't like it. I don't like how their games are always so damn close. Like, I just don't like it. I call it this is more subjective. I just don't like it. But I like the over a lot. I think there's gonna be points in this game.
The fact that if you watched football last week for the people out there, the fact they left Nick Foles in that game when he was like 3 for 19 with 3 interceptions, and they're like, let's ride this one out, fellas. We got faith in Nick. That guy was a catastrophe. I don't know what they're doing. So for that reason alone, I think Giants are just going to roll them. I don't know who they even plan on playing tomorrow at the quarterback spot. But I think Giants. Looks like they got Matt Ryan back, maybe. Even so, even that game where they won, like you said, they were up 33-0 on Minnesota. And then the next day, like, oh, Matt Ryan can't win. I'm like, hey, that's a defensive coordinator problem, not a Matt Ryan problem. He put 33 points on the board for you, and your defense just shit the bed. So I'm
if your defense gives up over 25 points a game, like, you shouldn't win, right? If you give up over 33 points and a half, you shouldn't win. So both teams shouldn't win. But anyways, old Keith Bach is watching. What's up, Sergeant Major Bach? All right, hey, time for you to take the pasture too, right? It's time for you to get out. Come talk to the big girl later, all right? Get off of that shit. And then Scott Diggs is watching. What's up, my brother? All right, hey, what we got next?
Next, we got Jayville going into Houston.
Another ass whooping.
Careful here, Bill. Have you noticed what Houston's been doing? They've been winning.
I hear you.
What
do you mean winning?
All I'm saying is, well, they covered for sure against, Dallas. They covered for sure 2 weeks ago. They won last week, right? Like, so it's like.
I mean, they're still 2-12,
right? But they found something. I think they found something. But I also think Jacksonville found something. So I like Jacksonville. I'm not going to lock it because it's at Houston, and I'm not a believer in Trevor Lawrence yet. I'm just not. All the weapons he's had around him. I'm a believer in him as being a really good quarterback. Like, there has to be an offensive coordinator change, something with the talent they've had around him. Like,
I think he was having a problem making that leap from college to NFL. We've talked about it many times when we've talked to our sports. That's a big leap. And I've had a personal friend, and I had a friend's brother both playing the NBA, and they talked about it. That leap from Division I to pro it's a punch in the face, especially if you've been elite at one level and then you get up to the NFL and realize, hey, guess what? Everyone's elite at this level.
That guy in college is open for about 3.5 seconds. In the NFL, he's open for a half a second. Half a second.
And I think I think it took him longer to find himself, and I think he's found himself.
And again, I love him as quarterback. I think that if he would have went to Green Bay and sat for 4 years, he would be, the next Aaron Rodgers. It's like, but he's just, I don't know. I mean, how many times can these rookie quarterbacks take hits? And like he's not a rookie anymore, but like just going through these stumps, like we'll get to David Carr. He's one of those guys. It's like it's like man. But
see, I agree with you. If you would have sat with if you would have went to Tampa Bay or Green Bay and sat for a couple of years under one of the greatest
and learned a system that was going to be run for decades.
But that's why I think it took him a little long. He didn't have that option. Like, hey man, you got to figure it out. And
that's my point.
Drink from this fire hose.
I would not get mad at anyone for locking Jacksonville here. I'm just saying, it's just one of those games where it's like I'm not locking it because Houston's playing freaking tough right now, and Jacksonville, I just don't think their scheme is right. I don't think their scheme is right. Like,
I mean, I'll agree with that. I do agree they need a new OC. Yeah. And I think that's the same thing with and we'll talk about we're about to go into the next game, but I think that's what happened to the Patriots. Belichick is one of the greatest coaches of all time, but he tried to be the smartest guy in the room and backfired this year.
We have a discussion about that next game.
Miami going into New England.
Yeah,
perfect. I love New England here with Bridgewater playing quarterback for Miami. Right, I love New England here, and here's why. Like when I saw Belichick walking off the field with the Raiders loss with that crazy play that should, like, you'll never see a play like that happen again. And Belichick's almost laughing as he's walking off the field, like that's not real, right? Like that didn't just happen. Like not one of my teams. Like what no. Like so, they're only one game out of the playoffs. They should have beat the Raiders, so they should technically only be like a half a game from clinching a playoff spot, right? Belichick is still a freaking genius, and I just
but you need an offensive coordinator,
right? I just think that Bill knows that it's defense for what he has right now on offense. I just like. I don't know what the Patriots, but you can't. I'm gonna go Pats here. But like I said, I just don't see some of their losses this year are just so bad, just like the Packers. Like there's just losses that are so bad, and it's like no. Like the Patriots are still there, man. The Dolphins are still trying to win, but they can't seem to hire doctors that can tell when a quarterback's head is exploding.
See with the Pats, they got a quarterback who in a couple of years is going to be a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
Real problem.
Yeah. So who do you got in that game?
He's still getting his feet wet.
Yeah, I got the Pats winning that one. Man, you might as well. I'm not going to lock it, but I mean it's 2.5 point spread. Like take the spread. Take the odds on the spread. Who do you got on that one, Bill?
Nope.
I'm with you on that one. I like the Pats. Yeah. I think, and for the same reason, for the quarterback they have playing, I got the Pats. And like you said, Pats have been deceptively bad, right? I mean, they're not the shit team. They've had some really wacky losses. And Belichick, it's hard to bet against Belichick too. Belichick is an NFL genius. I think he's made some problems. I think he needs to hire a good offensive coordinator for next year.
I agree with that.
Stop trying to be the only puppet master.
Not his brother or son or whoever the hell it is.
Yeah. But I do like the Pats on this one, especially it's at home. That's a different place to play too, and they got some crazy fans that'll light that place up. And I just really like the Pats quarterback. And like I said, 3 years from now, I think he's going to be a real problem in the NFL. So yeah, I'm with Nick too. Whenever I see 2.5 points, I'll just take the spread because what the hell? I'll always take that gamble on a short spread like that.
All right, what we got next, Baker?
New Orleans going into Philly.
Ooh, lock this up. I don't care who's playing quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, -5.5. All right, they're not going to let the Saints score. Right? In my opinion, they're not going to let them score. Right? So I think it's going to be like if I don't think Jalen's going to play. He hasn't been ruled out yet. I don't think he's going to play. Unless you're seeing something different. Is he ruled out yet, Bill?
I haven't seen anything quite yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen him being ruled out. I hope they rule him out, as I'm not a Philly fan at all, but I hope they rule him out. If they don't, friggin' Gardner Minshew is still going to score 30-something points with that team. Like, it's going to happen. So, yeah, lock this in. Eagles, 5.5, Don's Key. Bill.
Absolutely. I think New Orleans is going to go in there and just get absolutely punched in the face. And just like Big Earl said, I don't care which quarterback they throw out there. Philly is going to roll New Orleans without a doubt. New Orleans is just a shit team this year too. They got a lot of rebuilding they got to go through. Phillies just has it this year. I mean, I know, and I think their starting quarterback's coming back this week too. I know he did limited practice. If I'm Philly, I'm leaving him out for one more week, just to rest that shoulder up. But he might want to come out just to see how it goes for a quarter or two. Which is a possibility. He might come out for a quarter, see how the shoulder does. But I think New Orleans goes in there and just gets absolutely wrecked.
I agree.
Take Philly and take the spread.
Yep.
Next is the New York Jets going out to Seattle.
All right, gross.
I mean, their weather is gross, but...
Right, 42.5. All right. The Jets were somebody that I made a lot of money on the first 6 weeks of the season and have been losing steadily since. All right. I'm gonna call this as my first upset of the week because the Hawks are a 1.5 point dog at home. And the Hawks they suck too. Right. So it's like these teams both just suck right now. So this is going to be a turnover game.
It's a go start your grill game.
Well, yeah. This is if you have an NFL ticket like I do, just don't even watch it. But yeah, upset Hawks.
Am I going to throw this in a parlay? Hell no.
Nope.
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 No, I don't want to touch this game with the 10-foot pole either. Hawks plus 1.5. I mean, I like if I were to bet, I'd probably take Jets money line.
It's a big if.
That's if you put a gun in my head and said, make a bet right now. Otherwise, I'm not touching this thing. Like Nick said, I'd say the first few weeks in the NFL, I'm like, oh man, Jets have figured it out. And then the Jets became the Jets again. And just started, boom, of just flopping again. So yeah, don't touch this one. If you're gonna bet, take Jets money line. Or if you just want to say screw it and try to go for some money, take the Seahawks plus 1.5. I mean, what the hell? If you're betting on this, you're playing. You got play money. Anyway.
This is a great game for the 12th fan that doesn't show up to the game anymore to bet on.
Yeah.
Like instead of buying the ticket, just spend $130 money line on the Seahawks. You're better.
I mean, absolutely.
You're better off doing that.
Next, we got the one that y'all want to talk about: San Francisco going into the Raiders.
I'll lock this one in.
Lock.
Yes.
Okay, 9.5. The Raiders will not score a single fucking point in this game. All right, unless there's a turnover or special teams, right? Something funky happening. Like this is going to be a disaster. All right, and the 49ers are just going to roll them. So lock up the 49ers here. I don't care if the spread was fucking 50. All right, lock them in. All right, and like Bill's about to talk about here, I think David Carr is hurt. Like I just think he's hurt, and I think they're either saving him for a trade. And they don't want to show anything else, something. And I think Carr's going to go to New Orleans. I think Carr's going to go to New Orleans next year, and he's going to go there with Sean Payton. But it is what it is. But Bill.
So two things. My bookie has it at -10. Same thing, take it. San Francisco is going to absolutely beat the shit out of the Raiders. I don't know about the injury thing.
That was your excuse for earlier, and I'm like, that's what I'm using for Carr.
Yeah.
That's
So
the only
here's the
reason.
thing: the fact
Or
they're
they're saving
benching
him for
Carr.
trade bait.
I mean, seeing Carr cry and say "I'm sorry" to the fans, that I don't care who you are, that'll make a grown man tear up a little bit. I think Carr is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. If you ask me, I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. I don't think he's hurt. I think Raiders are just being the Raiders. That's another team that will just fuck it up. They will find a way to fuck it up. I don't think they're going to trade him because I think that Derek Carr is a major reason why Adams left Green Bay. Adams will lose his shit if they trade Carr away. There's no doubt about that. And here's the thing, Carr, we're talking about owning the locker room. That team loves Derek Carr. And he has that locker room. So I think by him being benched tomorrow too, I think it deflated that team. And San Francisco, we called it a while ago, and I placed a bet on San Francisco to go to the Super Bowl a few weeks ago, just because
I did when Trey Lance broke his leg.
Man, yeah, for sure. San Francisco has figured it out, and they have the amount of offensive weapons San Francisco has, and they have a great defense. I think they're going to go into LA and just beat the shit out of them. I think LA's deflated because they don't have Carr. I think Carr's underrated.
Bill, they're in Vegas now, not Los Angeles anymore.
Whatever. They're going to go in wherever the Raiders are playing. They could be on the moon. I don't give a shit.
So Chris has never sat. The Bakers never sat around a table with the sergeant major. When the sergeant major misspeaks, you just nod your head, because all the first sergeants know that. And we're gonna make fun of Bill after the meeting. Like hey, sergeant major, you said that like 8 times. Yeah.
As you were, it would be as you were. It would behoove you to not say anything. But you're right. I misspoke.
As you were.
Yeah.
But yeah, San Francisco's going to go into Vegas, and I think they're just going to romp the Raiders. I think they're deflated with the benching of Derek Carr. I think that's a really stupid move. I think what Vegas really needs is a new owner and new offensive coordinator. Derek Carr is not the problem.
And a new city.
Oh no, Vegas is much, bro.
Bill wants him back in LA.
That should be that should be drawing so many players.
It should.
So yeah, I think San Francisco is going to go in there and just pummel them. Take the spread. I've been building a parlay as we go through this.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't forget the individual games.
Listen, I will do the locks, but right now with it, I won't even talk about the rest of the games. If you pick the parlays right now, if you take Tampa Bay money line, Commanders -2, Philly -6, Jacksonville money line, Pats -2.5, Kansas City -12.5, and San Francisco -10, and you threw a $10 bet on that, which I am right now, that'll net you $580.
That's a win. But all right, let's go to the next one.
So I don't know who to call home in this next one, because it's the Rams and the Chargers.
Right. Well, the Chargers are obviously going to absolutely destroy the Rams. Absolutely punish them. This is one of my locks. All right, 6.5. Do it. 42. I like the over on that. I think these teams will score, but
they're both technically at home.
There's somebody named Joey Bosa coming back.
Yes.
Okay. People don't know who that
That's
is.
That's huge.
Yeah, he's one of the best players on the planet. All right. So it's like, and forget about it. So I like the Chargers here big time. What do you say, Bill?
I'm with you on this one. And again, with Bosa announcing his comeback, that's major. That guy is an absolute phenom, a freak athlete. I mean, really, the brothers are, but Joey Bosa is an absolute freaking nature.
He's a game record.
I agree. He is. He completely changes schemes. Like, oh shit, Bosa's on the field. Fuck. So yeah, and actually, I really like 6.5 on this one too. I think they win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
I'm taking that spread all day.
Hey,
all day.
we got Kaz on VTTs saying the Chargers are gonna do it by 14.
Oh, Kaz is on.
Kaz is on.
Nice, Kaz. Hey, what's up, brother? Hey, so if you haven't checked out WTF Radio, especially the Friday nights with Kaz, go check them out. They're a phenomenal show. And yeah, Kaz, we agree.
Yeah, 14, absolutely.
Yeah, 14, easy.
Next, we'll get the big Earl route up with this one. We got Minnesota going into Green Bay.
All right, the Vikings. All
There
right,
it is. There
are
it
going
is.
into Lambeau. All right. Packers are -3 favorite. Okay. Now, and ESPN has them at a 60% chance of winning this game. All right. I think the reason they have that is Minnesota doesn't have to win. Minnesota doesn't have to run any plays. They don't have to scheme. The only thing Minnesota should be worried about is giving the Packers momentum, right? But I think the Packers win this because Minnesota has been trying to lose week after week, not doing anything flashy, but they are very talented. So I'm not touching this game whatsoever. If you put a gun to my head, I would bet the Vikings. All right, I would, but I'm not touching it. But the Packers have to win. The Vikings don't. Figure it out. Bill, what say you?
I'm not touching this one either. Now, if this was 2 weeks ago, I'm taking Vikings all day.
All day.
Now, I just had this conversation with my wife. This is like the worst 2 weeks of NFL football betting because there's some teams that have clinched. Some are really trying to get in. So some teams are going to let off the throttle a little bit because they want to start resting their superstars for the playoffs. And they don't want to show schemes. I mean, there's all types of crazy crap going on. But Green Bay has to win, and it's Aaron Rodgers.
They went to Miami, did something nasty.
Yeah, but guess what? Aaron Rodgers doesn't fuck up until the playoffs. So, like, he'll get him to the playoffs, and he's going to shit the bed.
Right.
Kaz is calling Packers by 1.
There you go.
That's
real good call, Kaz. Yeah, real good. Yeah, real like.
And you know what? Kaz might not be far off, which is why I wouldn't take the spread on this one.
Exactly. I don't want to touch this game, even as a Packer fan. But everybody's watched me for the last 2 years knows that I don't get. I am objective. All right, look up the definition if you don't know what that means. Like I am not touching this game. If you told me to bet on it, I would bet the Vikings.
And yes, and that's the thing I want to point out. So when it comes to this, and listen, same with the UFC. I have favorite fighters that I absolutely love, but I really want the watchers of our show to make money. I would not touch this game in any parlay or money line, but this, I don't know.
Kaz is calling the finish here. It's going to come in the last 3 minutes.
Like, I like Green Bay on this one, actually, just because they have to get in. I think Rodgers will get him in. I think Minnesota might let off the throttle a little bit here.
I think so, too.
But, again, I would not touch this game. If I'm throwing money down, I'm not touching this. If you just are dying to put money on this game, take Green Bay money line. I'm with Kaz on this one. I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay wins by 1. I don't like him -3, to be honest with you. I don't like him to cover that.
Nope.
If you actually have to bet on this one, take Green Bay money line.
Yep.
All right, next we have Pittsburgh going into Baltimore.
Oh, -2. All right. Pittsburgh sucks. They're horrible. All right. Hundley, guess who he sat under for a few years? Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Like, this is another quarterback that had an opportunity to learn the NFL, which is why it's not pretty, but he wins. Okay? He wins. All right? Hundley is going to go in there. Oh, that's at home. It's a lock. Lock this at -2. Lock it. Ravens are going to fucking punish the Steelers. Punish them. All right? And only because I don't think the Steelers can score. I don't think they can. All right. That's just my opinion. I don't think they can score. And Hundley is a quarterback that I think they score 20 points. So I think it's gonna be like a 20 to 10, 20-14 game. Bill, what do you think?
I'm with you. Pittsburgh's just bad this year. I mean, they are just bad. Now, I'm a little biased here. Baltimore's been pissing me off solely because of my fantasy stuff. Goddamn Lamar Jackson doesn't know how to stay healthy if his life depended on it. However, I do like Baltimore at home, I think, just wrecks them. I'll take Baltimore money line on this. What did you say? It was -2?
-2.
Spread
-2.
-2.
Take the spread. Take the spread all day on that one. Baltimore -2. I think they punched Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's just bad. They're just bad this year.
Yep. Not good.
And they have their issues as well. However,
not that many issues.
No.
Not. Yeah. Goddamn. They're not Pittsburgh bad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, take Baltimore -2. I wouldn't be afraid to throw that in a parlay. I probably will. Like I said, only because Pittsburgh is just not good this year. Baltimore home all day.
All right, there you have it, folks. All right, what's
Monday night game? Buffalo and Cincinnati.
Finally, a Monday night game that is like I'm watching it no matter what. I usually have to bet $1,000 on it just to care. All right, but this game is going to be phenomenal. All right, therefore I'm not touching it. All right, but I like the Bengals are a 1.5 point dog at home. They've won 6 in a row. All right. The Bills have won 7 in a row. All right. This is awesome. This is the AFC Championship game right here, barring the Chiefs, whatever miracle run that Mahomes brings them out. But again, I'm not touching it. I'll put the Bengals in an upset here. But that's it. I got the Seahawks and the Bengals as my parlay for upsets. Bet both of those money line for a little bit of like a $10 bet. It should probably pay you $25, something like that. It's just watch this game and love it because this is going to be a game. Bill, what say you?
Wait, before we go to Bill, Nick, we have one more week of NFL, right?
Yeah.
Kaz keeps throwing some picks out here. I think he should challenge the Big Earl.
Man, Kaz ain't got shit on that. He knows that.
He's saying the Bengals by 3 for this one.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Like, I think someone's gonna win by 3. And I will. Guys, come on the show, bro. All right, so yeah, he'll do it. He'll do it. All right.
Man, it's the same thing. I don't want to touch this because both teams are bad. I don't want to touch it because both teams are so good, and they've both been so evenly matched. If you look at their stats, real quick, Josh Allen this year is 340 for 536 for 4,029 yards. Burrow is 389 of 564 for 4,260 yards. Allen 32 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Burrow 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Running backs are evenly matched, and then receiving yards. Diggs best Higgins by a little bit, but rushing yards, Mixon's got Singletary beat by like 15 yards. I mean, this is a very evenly matched team with 2 very good quarterbacks. For fantasy reasons, I'm into my championship game in my fantasy league. I need Burrow to have the worst game he's ever played in his life. I know that's not going to happen. So, Larry Melton, if you're listening out there, I hope Joe Burrow breaks the fucking leg. For the NFL, Joe Burrow, I hope you do great. I like you. You're a great quarterback.
And for Keith Bach, I hope he does well.
Yeah.
So I was like, but hell, I like Buffalo money line on this one. But yeah, if I'm betting money, I don't want to go near this game. Both teams are so good, they're so evenly matched up. This could go either way.
Anything
And
can
I know
happen.
Kaz said Cincinnati minus by 3. That's absolutely possible. It's possible Cincinnati just blows them out too.
Right. But I know.
And then the swing could go the other way.
I would bet 700 on that blowout to 1 on that blowout. But the Bills are going to come in hard. Like it's going to be a game. This is going to be a game. All right. So the Big Earls locks are the Chiefs at minus 12.5, the Eagles at minus 5.5, the Chargers at minus 6.5, and the Ravens minus 2. Also, the Niners at minus 9.5. All right, that's a 5 team, right? Did I say 5?
Yep.
All right, that's a 5 team. Now remember, put $5 to $10 on each of those games individually, and then bet the parlay, Bill. All right, like I tell everybody on the UFC show, I was like, listen to these guys tell their locks on UFC. Don't just throw $1,000 up the parlay. Like bet the locks, right?
Vegas has big buildings.
And then my upsets are obviously the Bengals, all right, and the Hawks, all right. Put a Bengals Hawks parlay money line, all right, both of them. Throw them on there, and I think Bill, what does $10 pay you on Hawks and Bengals money line up parlay?
The Hawks and Bengals?
Yeah.
But hold on a second. There we go. Hawks 1.5 and Bengals $2 or I'm sorry, 2 parlay bet with $10 will get you $26.
$26. That's what I thought. So, anyways, here comes the Bengals fan, old Sergeant Major Bach. All right, he's on there. He's chirping. He's been waiting for this pick, and he's saying Bengals by 10. All right. Hey, I will take that bet. All right, if you want that, give me the Buffalo Bills plus 10. All right, and I will take that bet because they're coming in hard, bro. And I'm not saying the Bengals should win. I mean, it ain't gonna be 10. All right, like
shit, Bill. You
ain't
need
gonna
to
be 10.
You need to get on DraftKings right now because that same parlay.
I'm in Washington. I can't.
Oh
yeah, he's got a bet with the Indian casinos.
$10 pays 41.
Yeah. So all right, well, there you have it, folks. Those are the picks. Those are the locks. Whether you like them or not, if you like what I've been doing the last year, you'd be happy. All right, and the UFC, I can't wait for it to come back, guys, because when Joe and Bill are on fire like they were last year, my account and my bookie is at about 2,200, right? You know, and I started with 400 in there, so it's been doing pretty well. So big shout out to that.
Never bad to quintuple your money.
Right, let me give you a quick parlay on your locks real quick.
Yeah.
If you're using my bookie, if you're in a shitty state like me, Baltimore 2.5, Chargers -6, San Francisco -10, Kansas City -12.5, and Philly -6. $10 gets you $240.
I'm there all day, baby. All right.
And
yeah, I'm there all day. All right. Hey, our next Veteran Trash Talk hour is till the 7th. And rumor has it the Baker can't make it on the 7th. Which is weird. Unless plans have changed. Can you make it on the 7th?
No, I got a tournament.
Yeah. Rumor has he can't make it. So we're going to record that shit. And we're going to put it out live. Not live. We're going to put it out after the recording, obviously. All right. Bourbon, comma, question mark. All right. Chris, what are you doing?
I got a pool tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
We've had
off
swimming? Yeah. So you're going to go the pool floaties? We've had off for like 4 weeks, and you're going to miss like the week that we have? like this do a show. I guess what you're gonna do. You're live now, so you just tell everybody why.
That's why.
Well, either way, look these guys up. It's called Salute to Suit. All right, Salute to Suit. All right. They are not veteran owned. However, they give tremendous discounts to veterans who are transitioning who need professional clothing. Okay, so we're gonna have Salute to Suit on the show for January 7th and talk about them. Other than that, make sure you tune in to Cliff, the mental health warrior. All right, VTT's mental health warrior, and Len is back. VTT's Pacific Tita has a few recordings in the queue, and we're going to put them out. So she is back with Throat Punch Monday, and we're waiting for every other show that comes out.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Sunday service.
Yeah, we're waiting for Sunday service. And Dave, where you been? Okay, so anyways, I love you guys, and I hope you have a happy new year and all the great blessings to you. But guess what? With all the blessings, if you don't bust your ass, they don't mean anything. All right? Go get it. Love you guys.